Welcome to another episode of Asexualized. Oh, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. Just getting you nice and stable there. So make sure my computer's sleeping. So it's lovely to see you. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please hit the great big subscribe button now. Hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live or post a new video like now. And don't forget, if you've just joined me and you're new to this channel, I am Sandra Bellamy, author of the Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book on Amazon, founder of asexualist.com and founder of Asexualized Academy. I am live and you can ask me any questions you like in the chat below. Don't forget, if you like this video as we go along, to give it a thumbs up. So today, I am answering a viewer's question as to why people kiss. So this viewer is also one of my best friends as well. He asked me in a private message on Facebook, but I told him I'd answer in a YouTube video because he watches my channel as well. And he asked me the question, why do people kiss? Now, this particular asexual guy, he is kissing repulsed. So if you haven't ever heard of kissing repulsed before, it is what it says on the tin. Basically, some asexuals absolutely hate kissing, like no kissing at all. They don't want pecks on the lips, nothing like that, you know. They're not into kissing. They might be into hugging, they might be into cuddling. Excuse me, I'm just having a drink. But they're not into kissing. So this friend of mine wanted to know, why do people kiss? So I said that I would answer that question right here, right now. So as asexual, who's heteromantic herself, that's me, and sorry, my throat's bad tonight, and who absolutely adores kissing, is a good person for him to ask. So why do people kiss, if you don't know? So basically, people kiss for a variety of reasons. One is pretty obvious, because they like it and enjoy it. People aren't going to tend to do what they don't want to do. You know, hi Michael, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you. I've just started answering the question from an asexual who's kissing repulsed as to why people kiss. So first of all, I'm stating the obvious one, which is because people like it and enjoy it. And oh, I should have added more to this title, because it's why do people kiss in relationships. This wasn't about friendship kissing, because obviously people kiss their friends to meet and greet each other and stuff like that. This was specifically in the context of kissing in relationships. So obviously I just want to say that people do kiss their parents, people do kiss their friends to meet and greet them, that type of thing. But he specifically asked me, why do people kiss in a relationship? As in, he was talking about, you know, as in dating type of relationship. So, you know, people kiss because they enjoy it and they like it, is the obvious. But, you know, if someone's not enjoying it and not liking it, then they shouldn't be doing it. Because, you know, either it's not right for them, or they're kissing someone who's not a good kisser, or who's not right for them in the first place, or they haven't trained them. That's another thing. So basically, with me, I absolutely adore kissing. I love it, the art of kissing. That's another reason why some people might love kissing, because they love it as an art form as well. But obviously when they're in a relationship, which is what we're talking about, they might just love the kissing, you know, they love the action of it. But usually people don't tend to kiss people they're not attracted to in some way. So people kiss people because they're attracted to them in some way. In a relationship, you know, in a sort of normative, heteronormative, so heterosexual style of relationship, or a sexual style of relationship, they kiss them because they're sexually attracted to them. And a lot of people kiss in sexual relationships because it's a prequel to sex. So basically, if you're in a relationship with a sexual person, which quite a few asexuals actually are, because, you know, it's, if you want love, you want a partner, sadly, a lot of the time, statistically you're going to end up with a sexual person. So people who are sexual use kissing as a prequel to sex, which is why I have huge problems in relationships with sexuals, because I adore the kissing, but they can't usually just have the kissing, because the kissing induces the sexual urges to want to have sex. It increases their appetite for having sex. So kissing is a prequel usually to sex when it's done by sexuals, and it's to put them in the mood for kissing and to put the person who they're kissing in the mood for sex. It's to make them aroused. It's to make them have pleasure in their body, the tingling, all that lot, so that the person has the urge and want to have sex. That's what they tend to do it for. That is why it's very hard as an asexual person like myself to get someone who just adores a kissing. Another reason is obviously they kiss because they do like being aroused. They enjoy the feeling of arousal. I actually like the feeling of being aroused to a certain extent when I'm kissing. But for me, because I'm asexual, that doesn't lead on to sex. I never ever have the feeling like I want to have sex just because I'm kissing, and I have arousal feeling my body. Oh, hi, thanks for accepting my friend's request on Facebook yesterday. You're welcome, Lou. I was waiting for you to come and have a chat to me, actually. I'm like, where's his chat? And thank you for being in one of my groups. I know you're at least in one of my groups. I think you're Asexual Friends. I accepted you in. That's my group, if you didn't know. So yeah, it's a pleasure. So yeah. So I was explaining, Lou, about kissing, because an asexual kissing repulsed person asked me why people kiss. So I've gone through already the fact that people like it and enjoy it. This is in the context of relationship, which I forgot to put in the title. And I said usually if it's done by a sexual person, it's because it's a prequel to sex. So they're kind of like wanting to do it to warm that person up to wanting sex with them. It's kind of making them like have more sexual urges usually, which is why it's very difficult as an asexual person like myself who absolutely adores the art of kissing. So I actually love kissing in and of itself. I adore it. Like I like kissing. There's different forms of kissing. There's open mouth kissing, obviously, little pecks, and there's French kissing, which is the kissing with the tongue. Now, years ago, I only used to do the open mouth kissing. I thought French kissing sounded quite gross, you know, with the tongue. It sounded a bit weird and But actually, when my ex started doing that with me, I absolutely adored it and loved it. So yeah, it's like making love with the tongue to me, and I'd much rather have that than sex any day. So that was quite an eye-opener for me when I did that, and I can understand why some people might be afraid of French kissing. I used to be quite afraid of the concept of French kissing. I used to think, oh, someone's tongue in my mouth. Oh. But I know if it's the right person, it's great. So another thing is, you know, I personally, which I think a lot of people would relate to and agree with, is I can't just kiss anyone. I think the people who are sexual, that have sexual desire, how does this fit in with kids kissing? Because I've seen the classic scene in my TV programs where a boy kisses his girlfriend once and then runs off shy. Oh, right. So if they're like boyfriend and girlfriend and they're kissing. So say they're young kids and they're kissing, which, you know, some kids do say they've got a boyfriend or girlfriend. I had a boyfriend actually at the age of 6. It wasn't good, but I did. Sexual boyfriend, sadly. And so, hi Heather, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, I mean, personally, I was passionately kissing, open mouth though, at the age of 6. So that's how long I've loved kissing, but I didn't like sexual stuff. So, yeah, my kissing love goes back, and I liked the passion of it. I liked the feeling. It made me tingle in my body. Probably even back in then, it made me feel really good. Yeah, I was 6. I really liked it. I found it very euphoric. You know, so even back then, but I don't know. You know, I think some kids probably like the warmth, and they probably like the idea of a boyfriend, girlfriend. Time for me to distract with a hey. Hi, Martin. Nice to see you. Lovely to see you. So Michael asked the question, why do kids kiss then, like boys and girls? But some kids have like what they call boyfriends and girlfriends early on. I had a boyfriend at the age of 6, you know, and I was kissing him at the age of 6, you know, and I enjoyed it. It made me feel good in my body. So I still got some bodily feelings in there. But I've always been asexual and didn't realise it. I knew back then, well, I didn't know, but looking back on it, I would have known that I was asexual back then. Because he wanted to do sexual stuff even at that age. You know, I mentioned that in a previous video when I was 6, and it wasn't good for me because I didn't, you know, I felt really uncomfortable. And so a lot of people, I got told by a counsellor at college that that's perfectly normal that young boys and girls play doctors and nurses, which if you don't know what that means, it means look at each other's private bits and explore them. In, you know, when you're a kid at primary school. That absolutely shocked me when the counsellor said that. But because I'd heard of the term doctors and nurses, but I thought it was kind of like an adult term. I didn't expect it to be associated with children. It's really weird. I didn't like that. And the counsellor said that. And what age? I was seeing a counsellor from the age of 17 to 19 birth certificate years old when I was at college. Yeah. And so that was really hard to hear that because I was really upset. Wait, they actually explore them. I thought it was just a bit too forward. Yeah, so if you didn't know, Martin, because I didn't put this in my Asexual Perspectives book. I actually said it though on another video, which is very difficult for me to say. I had this guy that I was supposed to be my boyfriend at 6. Sadly, he emotionally blackmailed me at 6 years old, and yeah, it was really difficult. And he wanted to look at, you know, my bit down below, and I was just really upset about it. And I felt pressurised to do it. So I don't really like talking about it. It's hard for me, you know. I've only ever mentioned that once on this channel, and I didn't even expect to mention it then, you know, because it's something I don't really talk about. It's very upsetting for me. And I had counselling from the age of 17 to 19 for various reasons, but that was really, really horrendous in my life. I lived with guilt for years about that because I didn't want him to do that to me, but I felt pressurised into it. And he was like, oh, do you want to look at mine? And I'm like, no, I really don't. I really don't want to look at anything of yours, your private bit. So I know back then I was asexual, you know, but I didn't know I was asexual back then, but I know looking back on it that I was asexual then, and I don't want to look at his bit. I'm not interested. I don't like the male penis, if I'm honest. Sorry, guys, but I don't. I just don't. It just doesn't appeal. I don't like women's naked bodies either. I hate that even more. You know, but I just don't like the male anatomy. I'm all right with the chest. Yeah, great. Arms, face, hair, lips, tongue, mouth, but even legs, but not the private bit. You know, just keep your underwear on, you know. It's like yours, so you can keep it. I don't need that, you know. So it's yeah, that was really upsetting. And I had the counsellor from about various things, but that's one of the things. She goes, oh, well, that's just normal, it's Dr. Nurse. She goes, I don't understand why you're getting so upset. And I was really upset, you know. I think I was in tears, either nearly or, you know, in my eyes where it actually was. I was so upset, and she didn't understand. She just thought that was normal, and she didn't have a clue. No need to apologise to me for saying you don't like it. I don't like either sex as private. Thank you, Michael. But it was I was distraught. I kept it a secret for years. In the end, I told my dad because I felt so guilty. And my dad's like, oh, don't do that when you're an adult, which was very weird. I've actually been brought up to be quite anti-sexual, which is weird because my parents are both heterosexual, so I never got that. My parents are very conservative. Normal, I didn't even hear about it until college. Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was really weird for some people to say. But yeah, my parents are quite anti-sexual. Well, they are without marriage usually, but you know, but I'm not getting married anyway. But they're kind of strange, my parents sometimes. But you know, because when I said reason I say they're strangers because you know, when I was with a Bangladesh guy in 2014 for 3 weeks 2013 I think it was, for 3 weeks or something. Anyway, it's quite a long time ago, a few years ago now, and you know, they were laughing at me, my parents back then, because I said I didn't want to, you know, have sex with a guy. And I didn't understand that because they don't believe in sex before marriage anyway, so I don't really get that. But now they're different. They're really nice, like about my asexuality. Like the second conversation I had about it, they accepted it and they said, "Oh, it sounds like you," and everything made perfect sense to them. Why I didn't like nudity, because they thought I was really weird that I didn't like nudity. They said, "Oh, you're just insecure." This is my own parents, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm not insecure. I really hate nudity. I hate seeing naked women, and actually, I don't like it if I'm with a boyfriend who's looking at that at the cinema. I don't like it. I'd much rather be with a guy who is naked, repulsed like me, who doesn't want to look at that at cinema, who tries to find films like I do that don't have that in there. That's why I post a lot of. I'm glad they understand you now. Thanks, Lou. Hi, Lewis. Nice to see you. Hope I've pronounced your name right. Yeah, so yeah, they're a lot better with me now and they understand me really well, which is good, you know, and they support my asexuality. But it was difficult. But yeah, anyway, I've digressed a little bit off the kissing. But obviously, I say, you asked me a question, Michael. Well, why do kids kiss when they're 6? Because they're, you know, not when they're 6, when they're young. And I said about when I was 6 years old. That's how I got onto this for people who've just joined the channel and don't know what I'm talking about. I was talking about I had a boyfriend at the age of 6, and even at a young age, kids are exploring each other's bodies. And I was told by a counsellor that's quite normal, exploring their sexual parts together. I personally, the whole idea of kids doing that just really, really made me feel sick when the counsellor said that, you know, like, well, sick as in the idea that that's normal. I felt pressurised. I didn't think it was normal at all. I was distraught. I mean, I was distraught for years. I just kept thinking, like, what did you do that for? But I felt, you know, it's hard back then because even at 6 years old, I felt like I was emotionally blackmailed into staying with him because, you know, oh, I love you if you do this, that, and the other for me. It was horrible. So I had quite a lot of emotional abuse when I was young, like that, at 6, in relationships. So I mean, that's why I'm really quite happy I'm single now. Actually, I've been single predominantly since 2011, and I don't want to get the wrong guy ever again. I'd rather be single forever. I don't want that in my life. It's horrible. I can only really be with an asexual guy, because sexual guys, you know. And this is what I was going back on to saying, getting back onto the talking about kissing. Why do people kiss? Because I was asked this by a sex repulsed person, and not sex repulsed, kissing repulsed asexual. Actually, sex there, I think they're okay with sometimes, but kissing repulsed, you know, I was asked about. So yeah. So going back to why people do kiss, you know, to just recap on what I was saying, people do it because they love it and enjoy it. But if you're with a sexual person, the sexual person usually does it as a prequel to sex, to make you aroused and put you in the mood for sex, and so that you'll want it. Do you see what I mean? Whereas as an asexual person, myself, who absolutely adores kissing but doesn't want sex, that's very difficult. You know, but I think most people, obviously they kiss in a relationship as well as a form of bonding. So it's a form of expressing affection. Don't forget, I'm talking about why people do kiss. I'm not saying you have to kiss. I'm not saying that, you know, because aromantics can be in relationships too. Those who are, you know, not romantically attracted to people. You know, asexual aromantics aren't romantically attracted to people or sexually attracted to people. They can still have a relationship. They doesn't have to involve kissing. But this particular person asked me, why do people kiss? So I'm talking about the people that want to kiss in a relationship, why they do it. Because people who don't like to kiss or haven't tried it don't understand it. So that's why I'm going over it. So, you know, people who, and it's specifically we're talking about relationships. That's what he was asking me about. So, you know, when you know, people kiss in a relationship, it's to show affection. So obviously people in different types of relationship could show affection in different ways, but kissing is one form of affection that some people do like to do, and it's one form of physical affection as well. So but it can be very emotional when you're kissing as well, not just physical. But it usually is very physical, you know, and people like getting turned on by kissing. They just do. That's usually why a lot of them do it. especially in the sexual aspect. I mean, I do like the arousal feeling, I have to admit, which is why I call that my grey area kissing, because I find it very strange that as a heteromantic asexual, I absolutely adore kissing so much. My kissing is very sexual in behaviour as well, which is very, very, very weird for an asexual person. It even makes me feel weird, because I'm sometimes like, I breathe heavily like I'm having sex, but I'm not. I've had sex in the past, if you're wondering why I know what it's like. So I'm glad I don't have it though anymore. I have to say that I had it because I thought I had to in a relationship. I just put that in there before anyone decides otherwise. So yeah, but I adore the kissing. I mean, I can't get enough of it. It's very addictive. So with kissing as well, some people kiss because once they've started kissing, it's really enjoyable because it releases dopamine and a lot of other sort of chemicals in the body that make you feel good. So some people actually get that from sex. Some people can get the feeling from adrenaline rush from doing certain games, for example, certain sports, certain activities. But that's what you can get through kissing. You can get that dopamine hit. That's what I love. It's very addictive when you're getting like your body's just feeling so good, and your whole, you know, it makes me very energized. I get a lot of energy from kissing as well. So if you get a lot of energy from kissing, you kind of want to keep going with it, because it's making you feel so great. It's actually a good form of exercise as well. If you love kissing, you know, you could use it as a form of exercise. It's a good sort of hobby to share with your partner. But a lot of people do it for bonding with their partner and for showing and expressing affection towards them in a physical form. You know, some people do like sex, and some people, instead of liking sex, will like kissing as a way of physically connecting with that person. Like I said, some people don't have to have any of this, but I'm just saying for the people that what the people do like about it. So it's one physical form that you can share with your partner. It's very, very intimate. So if I tongue kiss with a guy, for example, I can only usually do this with foreign guys because I'm not attracted to British guys that much enough to want to kiss them. You know, it makes me really, really into them. And also you can use your body as well. So some people might, obviously, if they're just giving a little peck, there's usually a little bit more distance. It's usually mwah. But if they're giving a full-on mwah, do you know what I mean? You're right in the person's face. You're being very intimate. It's a form of trust as well. When people are kissing, it shows you trust the other person as well to be in your very, very personal space. So it's a way of showing you trust someone. It's a way of, like, a person can kind of feel your body more when you kiss. So if you've got, it depends where you're stood, where you're laid, how you're kissing, but you know, if you're kissing with your clothes on or off. So some people love to kiss with clothes off. I personally don't, but some people do, and they'll love the feeling of each other's bodies intertwined with each other in the naked form. I don't like that. I like it intertwined in the with clothes on form, but not naked form. But some people love that because they might like the feeling of the other person's skin next to them. They might like the sort of deep, you know, like obviously if they're having sex, then the kissing goes with the sex because it kind of all intertwines. And then they kiss. Obviously there's kissing as well on all parts of the body. So if someone, like, say an asexual person is with a sexual person, you know, an asexual person, even if they don't want the sex, they could still want to kiss the person all over their body. Some asexuals would enjoy that. They would enjoy kissing the person, you know, all on the different parts of the back, neck, whatever. And especially sensual asexuals, or, you know, and any sensual people, not just sexual people, but sensual people. And you can get sensual asexuals that are not sexual because they don't want, you know, as in they don't want sex, but they want to be sensual. So they like to feel the body, touch the skin, touch, you know, the face, touch, you know, all over the body. They're very sensual. They kind of like the touchy-feely thing. Some people are very touchy-feely. It makes them feel good. And a lot of people even touch people when they just meet to bond. So when you kiss, it's like a really strong form of bonding with that person. I love kissing because I just adore it with the right person, but I can't just kiss anyone. Like, I think most people can't just kiss anyone. I mean, if you get a bad kisser, it's awful, you know. And so, you know, I can tell straight away just by kissing a guy whether I could be in a relationship with him or not. So I kind of like really like kissing him early on in the dating, because I like to find out if I enjoy kissing him or not. If I don't like kissing him, that's it. I can't be with him, possibly in a relationship. That just rules it right out for me. It's like, no. I've kissed one guy, for example, and kissing him was like kissing a lizard. And the next day I rang him up. This is when I was like 16, I think I was. And I was literally in birth certificate age. And I was literally, kissing him. And it felt like a lizard. I mean, his tongue was just in and out. It's gross to me. So just because I love kissing doesn't mean to say I love kissing everyone. And I just, and he was my boyfriend basically for that one night. Thanks, Lou. He was basically my boyfriend for one night. The next day we met up and kissed, and that was it. I was thinking I should just be your friend. I shouldn't be with you in a relationship. And then we remained friends. We didn't. Actually, I told him I couldn't be in a relationship with him. And so he said, oh, if you ever want someone who loves you, Sandra, give me a ring. And then put the phone down on me. Because I rang him up and told him I couldn't be with him. Because I just couldn't. And also, he was asking me to go away to France with him. Yeah, he was older than me by a few years. And he was asking me to go away with him. And it was like, no, I don't want to go away for the weekend because I know what that means, sex. I wasn't stupid. Do you know what I mean? So that really put me off him as well. And I was so glad because when I was his friend, I found out that he was into women. He would have like 2 women at once. As a friend, he was really good to me. We went out... in the car, we used to watch the sunset together and everything like that. He was a really good friend because he became my friend, even though I said no to him. He phoned me up and said, oh, I want to be your friend. Let's go out and spend some time with each other. And as I got to know him as a friend, he was a 2-time git, basically. But now he's completely opposite. So I know him now. I know, I don't know him very well like I used to, but I know, he's married now. He's got kids. He's a police officer. He's completely changed his life around, and he's not a womanizer at all anymore. He's a family guy. So some people do actually change, but he was a womanizer for a long, long time, So like 2 women on the go at once, it wasn't good, but he's completely changed his life around now. He's Facebook friends with me. So, and he's still really nice to me if he sees me. So, I used to work for his mum actually at a portrait studio. I digress again. But yeah, so people can change. But yeah, so I'm talking about this because obviously kissing, if you kiss the wrong, I don't want you to think that I'm saying that, oh, you don't know if you like kissing or not, because that's not what I'm saying. But what I would say to you is if you kissed once or twice people and you didn't like it, it doesn't mean to say you're not going to like every person kissing you, because some people are just rubbish kissers. In fact, a lot of people don't know how to kiss. Right, the heterosexual, bear in mind, guy I dated for 2 months last year. Why, I don't know, but anyway, he was foreign, had that going for him, I guess. That was but older than me in birth certificate age, which I don't usually do. And he didn't kiss. He goes, I don't know how to kiss. I have sex with women, but I don't, not with me, he didn't, but I don't know how to kiss because I don't kiss them. I usually just take them out for a meal and have sex with them, which wasn't good. And so yeah, so I had to kind of teach him how to kiss, but it doesn't take long for me to teach a guy how to kiss because I just kiss him the way I want to be kissed. I lead it, and then he just copies me basically and moves around my mouth how I direct him with my tongue to. So, you can actually train someone to kiss. I love doing that. Training a guy up to kiss me the way I like to be kissed. It's good. Because like I said, if a guy kisses me the wrong way, I like strong, controlled, soft kissing. Strong but soft. Controlled kissing, not like blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be nice and strong but gentle at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say, because I'm a delicate flower. Do you know what I mean? But and obviously, people don't really talk about it, but I consider someone, I couldn't kiss someone who was kissing repulsed, for example, because to me that would be like mouth rape. Which I don't know if that's an actual real term or one I've created for the situation, but when you have sex with someone against their will, if you're kissing someone and they really don't want to be kissed, that technically to me is mouth rape because they don't want that. So I wouldn't do that to someone. So I couldn't be, for example, with a guy who's kissing repulsed, not, genuinely kissing repulsed to the point where he can't kiss because he doesn't want to, it makes him really uncomfortable. It's horrible, So I do know one person said they're kissing repulsed, but they have done some kissing. and they're not so repulsed anymore, but they still don't like it, or so, you know. That was a bit confusing to me, but they'll be watching this video, so I know. I did get a bit confused by that, but yeah, so people kiss for a variety of reasons. They kiss because they like it, enjoy it. If it's a sexual person, it's usually a prequel to sex to put people in the mood. They might like it as an art form. It's a form of bonding when they're with their partner, because we were actually specifically talking about relationship rather than kissing your family or friends. You know, it's a form of physical expression of love that some people might like to give. Some people just love the dopamine hit. I mean, you can get a real dopamine hit. That's why some people like kissing for hours, like I do. It's great. It makes me feel so good kissing. I absolutely miss kissing. That's the only thing I really miss in a relationship is snogging, as you call it. Some people don't call it that apparently in other countries, but snogging is really passionate kissing for like full on. So yeah, I really, really miss that in a relationship. It's the one thing that's very difficult for me, because I get cravings for it badly, and it's like, oh, I got no guy here to kiss, and I can't just kiss anyone. So that's, you know, like some people go, oh, if you're that desperate for kissing, why don't you just go out on a night and kiss people? It's because I don't. Like, for example, British guys, I live in the UK, right, and I'm attracted to younger foreign guys, so Indian, Bangladesh, Middle Eastern. Do you know what I mean? But there's like, I've got a really good friend who's Sri Lankan. He's absolutely beautiful. He's one of my best friends, but you know, he's aromantic and more into guys. He watches this channel, so yeah, he knows I think he's beautiful. I've already told him that like loads, because you know, you can't help it. If you see somebody who's aesthetically beautiful, it doesn't change even if you're just their friend. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, he's got a beautiful personality as well, super intelligent, which I think is really nice qualities. It enhances the looks as well. And I think someone's like that, I think. But, you know, they're not suitable for a relationship with me. He's aromantic, you know, lacks romantic attraction. So, and I'm a girl. So that doesn't help either. But, you know, you can get, I believe you can get the guy of your dreams or girl of your dreams or whatever gender you want with your dreams. I do believe it's possible, even though you're asexual. I mean, I'm not going to give up. I've resigned to the fact that I'm trying to focus on career at the moment, because my asexual soulmate has not turned up in my life, but that's okay. I've got other stuff going on in my life at the moment, so maybe it's not the right time anyway for him to show up. But he will one day, and that'll be fabulous, even if after I've waited 4 years so far for him. I guess another 4 years won't matter at all. But yeah, the one thing that I find very difficult when I think about it, because I'm talking about kissing now, it's making me crave kissing because I'm like a kissing addict. So yeah, that's the thing. You can get, you know, like some people can get addicted to sex, and you might not understand why it's an asexual, but it's actually the chemicals that the sex produces within the body, the motion of it. And I don't have that feeling. I don't get that with sex, but I'm hoping for the same thing, but I'm in no rush. You're in the USA though, aren't you, Lou? I'm in the UK. Yeah. I think USA has a bigger population of people, but it still doesn't make it always that easy. But you've got to be prepared to travel as well. Yeah, you live in the US. So yeah, I live in the UK. Every guy I ever fancy usually doesn't live in the UK. Well, there's a few that I like in the UK, but they're not suitable for me. So, never mind. One day there will be someone show up, I'm sure. He'll be there. But yes, in the meantime, it's like, what do I do with my kissing? I've forgotten how much I love kissing until I did this video for the guy who wants to know about kissing. And now I'm like craving kissing 24/7. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be... I was dreaming, actually, it's not quite... I was dreaming about kissing. This guy did ask me a couple of days ago about this, to do this. And a couple of days ago, I was actually dreaming about kissing a guy, an asexual guy, who is... He doesn't live exactly in the UK, but he lives in kind of like, well, yeah, it is part of the UK actually, but it's just not Britain he lives in, I wouldn't say. But anyway, he lives quite far away, and he popped in my dream and I started kissing him, and it's really weird. I'm like, didn't expect to be kissing him. He's not the type of guy, like, we haven't even spoken for ages, and we kind of like two strong personalities that probably would never work together in the first place. That was really weird. But I was kissing him loads in my dream. I don't know if you've ever had a dream where you're kissing someone and it's not who you expected to kiss in real life. I've had a couple of dreams like that. Like people I know, that is really weird. When you kiss people you know and they're just meant to be your friend, or you're not even that, or you don't even know them that well, or they're not even friends with you. You know what I mean? It's like, and then you have the people in your dreams where you end up kissing them and you don't know who the heck they are. You've never met them before in your life. I don't know what's more freaky. Kissing someone who's just meant to be your friend in a dream, who you never actually dreamt in a million years, theoretically, that you would ever kiss in your life, or actually dreaming you kiss someone who you don't know who the heck they are if you've never seen them before. I don't know what's worse, really, but or what's better. Strange. But yeah, I think that's just the fact that I haven't kissed for a little while now. But I had a good kissing session a while back, but that gave me a chest infection. If you don't know the story, I kissed someone who smokes. Can't be with a smoker. Made me severely ill for about 7 weeks. And I don't think I've totally got rid of the chest infection now because my throat keeps going sore. Now I've still got the virus in me. Horrible. So yeah, I hope that's answered all the questions about kissing. I think I've covered the majority of things. To bond, you know, the feeling, the dopamine. I've had a dream where a bunch of people were randomly trying to kiss me and it gave me a headache. Scary Jerry, a bunch of people. My goodness me, are you a kissing addict? I mean, I've only ever had one person kissing me at one time, not a bunch of people. I don't know if that's quite lucky for you, but it gave you a headache, so I'm guessing not. I do find it, you know, it's very difficult. Not at all, ha. Yeah, I find it very difficult when I start thinking about kissing, because that makes me crave a relationship. It's one thing, you know, when you have that one thing about yourself where someone presses your button, and with me, it's like the actual thinking about kissing pushes my button. So it kind of makes me want to go out and get someone to kiss. It's like really hard. But I haven't been, because I've been distracted by my career and business stuff lately, and I haven't been very well, and I've been focused on getting better. You know, so, you know, even though I do these videos, there's still stuff going on, like, personally with me, like, you know, because I've been feeling dizzy tonight, for example, you know, before I did the live stream. But luckily I can talk about asexuality nearly in my sleep, so it's kind of quite good. For me, it's having a family. I really want to adopt kids. Oh, right, Scary Jerry. You're the opposite of me then, because I don't want kids at all, not even to adopt. Obviously, if I was having kids, I would adopt, but I've never wanted kids since I was 15 years old. You know, it's not something I've ever wanted. But if I did, I know in from 15 I would have adopted because I didn't want sex. See what I mean? I kind of, if I'd have known about asexuality back then I would have known I was asexual, but I didn't know about asexuality back then. But yeah, and, you know, I think people, you know, people kiss, don't they, to show they love each other as well. I don't even think I've said the word love each other. People kiss because they love each other. Yeah, people kiss because they love each other. I think that's like a really important thing to say. Some people who are sexual, like I said, though, they don't actually necessarily love the person. They're just trying to get sex. And I think in general, most people can't kiss someone they're not attracted to in some way. However, there are people who have the sexual desire without the sexual attraction, as in they just want the sex itself for the sake of having sex. And there are a number of people in the world that can have sex with pretty much anyone because they're so sex obsessed, and they will kiss someone in that situation sometimes because if they can get sex out of them. Do you see what I mean? There are the extreme people that are hypersexual, or, you know, sex addicts that really just need to have sex with anyone on legs, basically, and they will do whatever they can, and if kissing is involved as that to make that person body in the right state for having sex, then they'll do that to them. But if you like, I've watched obviously dating coaches, and there's one dating coach, well, there's one coach I watched. He's not a dating coach, actually, he's a life coach. I do watch a lot of dating coaches, and this particular life coach was teaching people how to have good sex. I listened to quite a lot of it. It was very difficult because I don't like sex, but it's very important that I do hear other things, and I think I switched it off after a while because I couldn't bear the rest of it. But he was on about, oh, you know, the way to have good sex is by kissing all over the body, and to be honest, that is correct. You know, in the sexual realm, people who are having good sex, you know, it's not about someone sticking it in you. it's about like making love, which is the whole kissing thing, the whole foreplay. It's called part of foreplay. Foreplay means like the prequel to sex. It's what you'd fore meaning first, playing before. So like sexual play, if you know what I mean. So when they kiss the whole body, there's certain things like some people kiss because they're like with sex, for example, they're kissing because of erogenous zones. So it makes that person more turned on to sex. So, and it's important I say this because although we're asexual, there are, like I said, a number of people who watch this channel who may be in sexual relationships, even though they're asexual, you know. And it's not for me to judge where that's right or wrong. I've had sex in the past, you know. I could have it again if I wanted to and chose to. I personally don't want to, but you know, everyone has the right to change their mind. Everyone has the right to try it if they want to. If they want to remain a virgin forever, I say good for you. Be great. I'm not, sadly, but you know, so it's important that I do say this, you know, because if an asexual person is having sex, make sure that person doesn't just stick it in you, because that's going to be so boring for you. Make sure they, you know, if you're an asexual who does like being touched and kissed on their body, then make sure the person's doing all that for you before they go and get their sex, and that you're getting some physical pleasure that you enjoy out of it, if you like that. Obviously, I don't like, you know, I don't want a guy sucking my breasts while I'm naked. Do you see what I mean? I've had that in the past, though, with my ex. I was with him for a very long time, but do you know what I mean? I'm not really... in my mind, I don't want that. But it's not to say I can't change my mind if I don't want to. Everyone can change their mind, you know. You're entitled to do what you like in life and change your mind. You know, you haven't got everything, single thing in your life set in stone. It's important to know that. And I think until you get into an actual relationship with someone, some things are hard to work out. Because especially if you've been single for such a long time, or you've never been in a relationship before, it's kind of hard to know what to expect. It's kind of hard to know what the other person likes. Really, it requires a lot of candid, upfront discussion, you know, about kissing and sex and all that type of thing before you get with someone. But, you know, part of, like, making love, like, is kissing, like, erogenous zones. But you can do that without having the sex, you know. There's certain things which can, like, erogenous tends to make you feel sexual, but sexually excited. But it can make you feel aroused without actually wanting the sex. So, you know, for example, if a guy was kissing behind my ear, that might make me feel, you know, like down my earlobe, that might, and down my cheek and stuff, that might make me feel like quite, that's nice. Because, do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's quite a lot of erogenous zones, like, for example, on a guy, if you put your hands on his, like, even on a guy or a woman, if you put your hands in, I don't like this because this is too near my sexual private parts of me, but if you're having a relationship with a sexual, or you don't, you know, you want to do more sexual activities but without the sex, you know, some erogenous zones are touching the inner thighs of men, and both men and women, like that. And obviously kissing of the earlobes, licking, sucking the earlobes, that type of thing. You know, some women do like to be sucked and kissed and touched on their breasts, and some guys, you know, like to licked and sucked on their chest. And then you've got bum area and all that type of thing. So, you know, but even sort of the hand that can be a little bit sensitive, little tiny kisses, or down the nose, or, you know, kissing on the face, and, you know, on the neck is a very erogenous zone usually. You'll see a neck in a lot. If you ever see a lot of sort of sexual poses, you'll see the woman's neck back like this quite a lot as the guy's kissing it. That's known as erogenous zone. So some people can, like, who are asexual, especially who are more on the grey side of the asexual spectrum, they might love all the erogenous kissing, but without necessarily going the whole way to sex. There was one guy I met on Asexuality. He liked everything stripped, all the clothes stripped off, and do everything but the actual full intercourse. That was too much for me. I'm like, no, that's not the type of guy I'm looking for. It's too sexual for me. So you have to know your own boundaries and stuff, you know. But I think it's important that you get a compatibility person in kissing, you know. If you're a person who's not bothered whether they kiss one way or the other, and you want to try it out and have a good go, then go for it, you know. But if you're the type of person who hates kissing, then you need to find someone else that doesn't like kissing either. Because just like a person who needs sex, for example, some people like me need kissing. I couldn't actually be in a relationship with a guy without kissing. because to me, I may as well just be friends with him, because that is a huge difference. That is one boundary that's different to me. So I kiss in a relationship to show that I love the person, that I want to be physically close to them, but without the sex, because I enjoy it as an activity to do, because it makes me feel aroused, and I like that sometimes, but not to the point where I feel it's too sexual for me. It's a dopamine hit, so I personally like it for all those reasons. And I can personally be with a guy in a relationship who doesn't want to kiss me loads. I love public displays of affection as well. I love kissing in public as well. Because if a guy doesn't want to kiss me in public and doesn't want to hold my hand in public, it's no go for me, because to me that's like being a caged animal. Most people don't have this view. I have to say, this is quite a unique view. But I feel like a caged animal if the guy I'm with is just kissing me in private, holding my hand in private, doing stuff like that in private. I feel like I'm his dirty little secret. That even though he's not having sex with me, I feel like I'm his dirty little secret, and he just wants to do that stuff with me in private, and he's not proud to be seen giving me affection in public. And I can't be doing with a guy like that, because I like a teenager style relationship, where you're going to like the zoo and you're kissing around the zoo, and when you're going to aquarium you're kissing around the aquarium, and when you're going to theme parks and you're stood in the queue and you're hugging cuddling each other and you're kissing each other. And that's the type of relationship I love. And just not worrying about what anyone else thinks, and just enjoying it. I like sitting on my guy's lap, even though I'm asexual, kissing him in a chair, kissing him on a bench, sitting in between his legs. I like all that, which is quite like physically. So I don't mind being physically close to a guy, like really close to him like that, but with my clothes on. That's a huge difference for me. It's like protection. It's like, because I don't want his private bits going near mine. And I don't like nudity anyway, so I don't mind if his chest is nude, but I prefer that in private. I don't like him having his chest exposed to all women or whatever the world. I don't like that type of guy. Like same as I wouldn't wear I haven't got the body for a bikini anyway, but even if I did, I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing something like that where all these guys can see me. I shouldn't say that now, should I, in case I get super thin in the future and decide to wear a bikini, but it's never happened yet, and I was really quite thin at one point in my teenage years. Not for very long though, but I've always been quite curvy. But yeah, so anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I hope this video has been useful, helpful, insightful for you. If it has, please hit the thumbs up. That would be fantastic if you've liked it. If you've got any questions or comments and you think about them after you've watched this video, please leave them down below. I would love to hear your comments, thoughts, questions. Thanks very much for tuning in, Michael. Good night. Thank you for the thumbs up. Please keep the thumbs up coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Martin. Thanks for staying till the end. Thank you, Lou. And thank you, Heather. And I know there's some other people on here too. Just gave you a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Lou. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you so much. If you haven't given a thumbs up already, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it, because it helps these videos get higher in search engine rankings, and then it gets asexuality better known around the globe as well, because people see it. Oh, I got hearts. I got purple hearts. I love purple hearts. Oh, so beautiful. I love romantic stuff. You're very romantic, Lou. Shame you don't live in the UK. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to everyone. Big kisses for all my people that watch. And I will see you on the next video. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. It's been an absolute pleasure. If I've forgot to mention your name and call you out, Scary Jerry, I must admit, yeah, you've watched as well. So thank you for tuning in as well. And I know there's a person earlier on that tuned in. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Thanks, Heather. And I will see you soon on the next live stream or video. Take care. Bye.